road for me to go down. Not only with the being dishonest and taking things that weren't mine and shit like that, but the pills, I had to kick the pills. So I did get a good job, and I started doing the right thing, and I started going to some drug classes and stuff like that on my own to get off the pills, and I successfully got off the pills for almost 2 years. And then for some mad reason one day, 15 months after I'd stopped, November of 2001, so I didn't take any pills in 2001, and most of 2000, the year 2000, and all of 2001, I didn't take anything. Then one day I decided to call a dentist, got him to call me in 20 Vicodins. I took 10 of them. That was at 9 a.m. I rode around, I rode around, I rode around. Or no, I took 5 of them. I rode around on a fucking badass ice racing motorcycle. 400cc two-stroke that didn't weigh anything. So I was just riding wheelies up and down the, the, the business park and all around the neighborhood. About 11:30, I take 5 more of them. And I started riding wheelies again. And I ate shit in a wheelie at about, I don't know, 60 mile an hour. Broke a leg, took all the skin off my shoulders. I mean, it just fucked me up. It was all I could do to get that motorcycle up and inside after a few minutes of laying around and making sure I could move. And I closed down my shop for that day. And I can tell you, after that experience, I'd already been in the drug class. I already had been off the pills for 15 months. And that one day, that one little wild ride was all it took. Never ever taken another pill, never thought about it, never had a craving. You know what I'm saying? So that's a blessing. So the point with that is that if you are, if you do have that monkey on your back, if you have some heavily addicted to something stupid, if you're an alcoholic or anything like that, there is always hope. But what you have to do is take that first step. You have to admit that you need some fucking help. Because that's all part of something that I always reiterate in most of my shows, is try to say that you have to paint a clear vision of your future. No one's going to do that for you. And painting a clear vision of your future involves, do you want to be, addicted to something in the future? And part of that is a creative solution out of your situation. How can you do that? How can you make that happen? What resources do you have available? Because that's exactly what I did. I went to some place that was in a little strip mall that was just like counseling, and it was group counseling for addiction. And it really did, it helped a lot because it explains what happens with your brain. It explains why your body does the things it does, why people with addictive personalities act the way that they act. That's why now I'm addicted to the Robcast, man. I'm addicted to y'all because you're awesome. Not really. Only like a couple of you. Oh. And then, another big theme, that really helped me with just life coming together in full circle altogether is a little book by Wallace Wattles. Little book by Wallace Wattles called The Science of Getting Rich. Check out The Science of Getting Rich. Order it on eBay, order it on Amazon, and let me know what you think. It's a very interesting book. Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. I am a believer that, I mean, I don't know if you like, we're all one. You know what I'm saying? If you steal from someone, you're stealing from yourself. What you put out there is what you're going to get back in this world. I truly believe that. Um, but I also truly believe that there's hope for everyone. I also had a misconception that I think a lot of rich people have the misconception that poor people are bad. They're just bad. They're that way because that's just how they want to be. And I think that a lot of poor people have the misconception that uh, rich people are uppity assholes. That's just how they are. And I've seen both sides of the fence. I've seen a lot of poor people that have a good heart that you really, don't understand why they didn't get farther in this life than they have, and they've been given some bad breaks. And I've definitely seen some people that have everything in this world, but they would give it all away if they thought that it would help someone that they loved. You know what I mean? Oh, there's the spectrum of bad on all humanity. I think that our responsibility is to try to portray ourselves more accurately, especially nowadays online and social media, just to try to paint a more accurate description of what your life is really like. And I think we'll all be more well respected across the board. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Sometimes you're like given opportunities in this world at the wrong time in your life. And some of those missed opportunities you look back on and you say, man, like at the time, I say in 2005, at the time when you think that you're just got picked to be on a reality show, fact, to be something that they're trying to get into syndication, something that they're picking the cast for, and it's a big deal. And then it falls through, and you're back to being a motorcycle technician. Well, at that point in my life, I thought that, man, that's the end of the fucking world, man. Everything that, like, my girlfriend at the time was telling me I'm stupid for even fucking with it. Why you be on a reality show for BT or whatever? And I was like, because it's cool. It's my calling. It's what I'm gonna do. And I don't know. Now, okay, I look back on that and I say, okay, if that would have happened then, I wouldn't be who I am now. And nah, I wouldn't trade that shit for the world. You know what I mean? And see, life, it's the journey, man. It's not the destination. And that's something that you might think about for just a minute. It is the journey. It's not the destination. It's who you take the fucking travel. It's who you travel with. And I encourage my friends to, you got to be around the people that you would aspire to become, the people that you respect and that you look up to. And I'm not just saying to shun the people that you think are assholes or that are going the wrong way, because you know what? We got to try to encourage those people too. Encourage them to be the best assholes that they can be. You hear me? I'm saying it's just me, but I think that there's good in all human beings. I think that some people have just not been taught the right shit, and they also don't know how good it feels, how rewarding it actually is emotionally for you to do the right thing. I've talked about the show Bait Cars, where they just leave these badass, or even a car out there, and these people, it's cold, there's a car that has a heater in it, it has the keys. They're gonna take it and sell the stereo out of it or whatever. But the point is that they that's their mentality is that if someone leaves the keys in their car, that it is now theirs. It's open game if they don't take it, someone else is. And I think that's just a whole fucked up way of our whole society's way of thinking. I think there's communal thinking where we all start to think alike and it's a good thing and we all connect on a certain level to where our community can actually become a better place. And just talking a little bit about, helping people, so I think that there's hope in everyone, okay? But there's only one thing in this world, no matter if you're addicted to alcohol, Vicodin, opiates, heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, anything. There's only one thing on this planet that can make that person stop, or that can make that person want to stop, or that can encourage that person to make that, whatever that little spark that turns into a fire that makes them quit this addiction or take a step toward being less self-destructive. And that one thing is them. They can only do it for themselves. That person has to take that step for themselves. No one can do it for them. As I always say that you can't impose your will on anyone, and it's a damn shame, because that's why they have interventions, and that's why they're not successful. And I mean, it takes you, or that person that you know that has this problem. But just hey, not we're gonna flip it. We're gonna flip the script a little bit. We're gonna talk a little bit encouragement. You know what I'm saying? People, you gotta be grateful for the things that you have, the blessings that are right there that you don't even know it. But if they were gone, you'd motherfucking know it. If you went to hit that light switch and it didn't turn on, you'd know it. So if you've got that person around that if you knew that they weren't there, you wouldn't appreciate them, then you damn well need to let them know how much you do appreciate them being in your life every day. And if it's the exact opposite of that, then there's definitely always a creative solution to your situation. Do what you love to do. Set aside 2 or 3 minutes every single day just for you to develop that skill, that talent, this thing that you want to do, the book you want to read, the art that you want to discover. Do that for yourself for a few minutes a day and just see what it turns into. It might be nothing. But I mean, you might be the next great composer sitting there. We don't know until you start to learn music. So what I did is I just typed in quotes by Wallace D. Wattles. Wallace D. Wattles is an author from around early 1900s, but he's an awesome stud, and you should check out The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. But here are a few quotes by Wallace Wattles. Number 1. The very best thing you can do for the whole world is to make the most of yourself. Another one. Because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. A thought is a substance producing the thing that is imagined by the thought. There are 3 motives for which we live. We live for the body, we live for the mind, we live for the soul. No one of these is better or holier than the other. All are alike desirable, and no one of the 3, body, mind, or soul, can live fully if either of the others is cut short of full life and expression. Do not wait for an opportunity to be all that you want to be. You must lay aside your greed. Have no unworthy motive in your desire to become rich and powerful. It is legitimate and right to desire riches if you want them for the sake of your soul, but not for the desire, not if you desire them for the lust of the flesh. By thought, the thing you want is brought to you. By action, you receive it. You can advance only by more than filling your present place. I'm telling you, and that some of these are, oh my goodness. The purpose of life for man is growth, just as the purpose of life for trees and plants is growth. If you want to help the poor, demonstrate to them that they can become rich. Prove it by getting rich yourself. See what I'm saying? Like, yeah, give the poor guy a sandwich. But if you happen to have some hot stock tips, give those to him too. So no, rock and roll. Check out Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. We've talked about that in the past show, and actually you can go to Robcast Radio, the Rob season. No, Rob. go to um, the rich little